Are we live?
Yep.
Okay, we live. We live. Hey, y'all. It's 7:31, but it is Thursday night, and it is the Talk About It Thursday. I'm Audriana. Y'all already know I got my ace boom coon with me, Nekia Cannon. She pretty light skinned today. Look at that bun, forehead, ear. She bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Nekia know I like to pick on her, but she looks gorgeous today, as always. And we got our special guest, Mercedes Jones.
Hello.
Say hey, Mercedes.
Hey.
Okay. And we got our other special guest, Mr. Joshua Johnson. And he will be dropping some jewels of wisdom. And y'all already know Elliot is at the church house getting him some religion, so he gonna join in later. And we don't have no viewers, so what's up with y'all? How was y'all day? While we wait on some people to tune in.
Y'all ain't got no viewers.
Not yet.
Y'all better get me an audience.
Well, you ain't got to talk yet.
I don't shout in church unless somebody watching.
That was wrong with the saints now. They looking for an audience, a crowd.
It's gotta be an audience.
Yes, audience of one. Hello, somebody.
Jesus couldn't feed the multitude if it wasn't no multitude. And y'all ain't getting this fish. Y'all ain't getting this fish until some people show up.
Josh, be quiet.
I'm sick of Josh. Nekia, how was your day? You had a good day, boo?
Hey, was fabulous. I'm finally done with classes for my semester, so now all I gotta do is take exams. And yes, I'm gonna turn up tonight.
Lord.
Did you see in the description below, I told everybody, I said, pray for you as you go into exams. I said, now, if your prayer can't hit the ceiling, then a simple God bless you. I sure did put that in the description. Yeah. Mercedes, how was your day, boo?
It's been long, but I'm here. Yeah.
You sound like Celia. I may even be ugly. I'm here.
Hey, now, on the road, about to talk to the saints. Then I gotta leave and go back into another little cinema dig, girl talk, women only.
Oh Lord.
So
y'all deeply involved in the ministry. I do good to show up. Bless you.
Josh, I don't see your picture. Do y'all see Josh's picture? Do y'all see?
He look like Bishop elect.
Because I have been elected, anointed, and appointed.
I'm going to need for you to turn your camera on. There you go.
Oh, because I was on Facebook.
Oh, okay. How was your day, Josh?
It was pretty good. You know, I was at my little internship thing, just, being great and, being salt and light to the world. And,
Josh, goodbye and good day.
I say Josh is crazy.
He hung up the phone.
He done hang, because he on Facebook being nosy.
Yeah,
he'll get back in.
That don't make no sense.
He is crazy. He cutting up so much he done hang up on his own self. Okay, so current events. What's going on in the world? Hillary running for president. Waka Flocka think he running for president. Lynch was she's officially the, where's Josh? She's officially the Attorney General. Yeah, Attorney General. I'm about to say Attorney at State.
Y'all, the thing booted me out. That's the devil.
Yeah, get it together now, Audrey.
Because I'm looking at somebody talk about South Carolina State in this group message. Attorney General. What else going on?
Can it don't ask me?
Ain't nothing else going on? Any other current events? Housewives of Atlanta finale was boring. What else? Love and Hip Hop premiere was boring.
Yes.
That was boring. I'm ready for the Puerto Rican Princess to come back because that killed me. What else is going on?
Bobby
Jesus is
Christina.
still Lord. She woke up.
Yeah,
She
but
did.
Sissy saying she had like some irreversible brain damage, so we don't know how that's gonna go.
Help us, Lord.
Bobby Brown is in denial.
You reckon?
I mean, maybe he's just speaking it into existence. He just want to see his baby girl be his baby girl again.
And that's understandable, but you gotta recognize the difference between the will and your wants.
Now
That's true.
what?
Who that is in the background?
In my background?
That's somebody talking.
Yeah, the ladies are getting ready to go into the conference room.
Bless you, ladies. Hurry up on in that conference room. What else? What else? What else?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead on and get into the discussion. Today's topic is church hurt. Y'all already know how we do this. If you got something to say, any questions, comments, concerns, or you want to give us a shout out, use our hashtag Talk About It Thursday. We also have a Twitter page at Talk Thursday. We're going to be talking about church hurt. And like I say, we have, for those of y'all who just tuned in, we have our guests Mercedes and Josh. And they're going to share their testimonies. Elliot is on his way. Y'all know Elliot at the church. We respect the man of God in his absence. So I'm going to start with Nekia. Nekia, have you ever experienced church hurt, or you know someone who was hurt in the church very, very badly?
Yes, I know Josh.
Besides Josh.
Do you think my testimony's funny?
Josh, it's not funny. It's just funny the way you tell it. That's what's funny. But anywho, have I been hurt by the church before? Yeah, I have. Probably why I'm not in church right now.
Well, you there, you just not there. You ain't nobody member.
No, I don't go to church.
You don't go to church?
You don't go to church, Nekia?
I mean, I was there like these past 2 weeks. Well, I mean, I've been there for like past 3 weeks because one Sunday was Easter, and the other 2 Sundays, Charles invited me to his church. So I
Charles, that's my brother now. I love me some Charles.
Support the ministry. And I mean, yeah, I'm not like technically a member at anybody's church.
That's why I say you ain't a member. You just, you just drop in and show your face.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of like trying to find my place in Christ or something. I don't know.
Right.
Trying to find place in Christ. Okay.
Also, if you're watching, please put it on your Twitter and on your Facebook. Talk About It Thursday is live right now, and we're talking about church hurt. So, yeah. All right. Mercedes, you want to go first? Josh, you want to go first? Whoever want to go?
Well, Mercedes sounds like she has, to run for real. All I got to do is watch Grey's Anatomy. So go ahead, because I don't want to stand in your way.
Go ahead.
Lord have mercy. Okay.
Testify.
Oh, Jesus.
Lucia.
See, that's why I told Audra I wasn't gonna do it, but some victory. Okay, well, I'm 27 years old and I have a 5-year-old little boy. Let's see. Oh, Jesus, take me back when. Around 2008. Well, first let me say, I grew up in the church, so I've known church all my life. Yeah, from a baby. Mama made me go to church every Sunday, Wednesday night Bible study, Tuesday night prayer meeting, Thursday night choir rehearsal. So I was pretty much in the church every day of the week except Friday and Saturday. And I was sheltered, so I did not have the opportunity to know about different worldly things until after I graduated high school. Well, my senior year in high school. So maybe 2 years after I graduated, I decided to dip and dabble in the world. And instead of, as we have now, younger women come pull me aside and say, hey, I know you want to experience life, and I know you think this is what you should be doing, but baby, I can tell you from my experience that ain't the way to go. They bashed me. They bashed me real bad. And so I wound up getting pregnant with my son. And it's like after I got pregnant with my son, I told Audriana I wasn't gonna cry. Y'all hold on.
Don't cry, because then I'm going to cry.
I just did this makeup now. So, but after I had my son, I can honestly say, and no, let me first say this. I am not in any way promoting premarital sex. But I will say that after having my son is when I had a real encounter with Jesus. I'm not telling nobody to go out there and get pregnant. I'm not telling nobody to go live in sin and maybe Jesus will come visit you. No, I'm not telling anybody. But that's my story. That's what happened for me. And so as God began to deal with me in different areas of my life, the people in the church were shunning me. I mean, made me feel like life was over. I wasn't going to make it nowhere. I wasn't going to be able to do nothing. First of all, I grew up in a traditional Baptist church. So it wasn't no women preachers. It wasn't no women sitting in the pulpit. Women weren't called to do nothing but feed these children, feed your husband, go to bed, be quiet. That's all you're supposed to do. So as God began to deal with me, because as I was telling Audriana the other night, it's a calling on my life, and I know it. I've been running for a long time. But I began to feel the weight of the prophetic mantle that is on my life really, really heavy. I had my son in 2010. So in 2011, I started feeling it really, really heavy. And being that I was in a traditional Baptist church, there was nobody in my church to help me cultivate my gift because they didn't understand it and they didn't believe in it. Not saying they don't believe in God or Jesus, but prophesying and speaking in tongues, you're not going to find that at a traditional Baptist church. And right. So I went to my pastor, God rest his soul, and I explained to him that I was getting ready to move my membership. He gave me his blessing and everything. I mean, obviously God talked to him before I even went into the meeting with him, because it was just like smooth sailing. It was like, maybe when you come back, you can help the young people here. Oh, but them saints. The saints was not there for me leaving, nor were they there for me thinking that God could still use me after everything I've been through. Oh no, I don't want to get into that part of my testimony. Jesus, can I not say that? Okay. So, being that some other things had happened to me prior to me having my son, a lot of church people, a lot of Christians, just know the things that were said about me turned me just off. So for a year and a half, I did not go to church. And I want to say this. I know some people, when they experience church hurt, they turn away from God completely. That's not my story. I turned away from the church, but I never turned away from God. And I think that's what people need to understand. Even when you go through church hurt, you don't have to leave God. You don't have to turn your face from God. But the saints made it so hard, and I sent Audrey, I think that was last night, a tweet, because as I had been promoting the show, a former church member of mine decided he wanted to throw a little shade. And trust me, I love Jesus, but I still cuss a little. So that flesh in me wanted to rise up and read him real good publicly. But, after thinking about it, I calmed down, because number one, being that this is Audriana's show, I would never want to water down or diminish her witness for her platform, because this is not mine. God is just allowing me to be able to tell my story through her platform. So I would never want to degrade anything she has going on. So I wasn't going to put talk about it Thursday in that mix.
Right.
But church people, because I ain't even going to say Christians, church people can be so judgmental. And yeah, I know we say Noah was this, Moses was this, David slept with Bathsheba, then killed her husband.
Right.
Basically, everybody God truly used was a misfit, was the black sheep of their time. But in today's society, it's like you made one mistake, and the saints ready to just condemn you to hell.
Right.
And I'm not there. I don't like that. And so
Right.
sometimes I have caught myself being judgmental. And God have to check me. Because one thing that really bothers me is the homosexual topic.
Right.
Y'all be wanting to throw the homosexuals in a pit together and light them on fire, but y'all ain't talking about the preacher in the pulpit that's a hoe. Excuse me, they're sleeping with all the women in their church. You don't condemn the liars. You don't condemn the people that's around here boosting. So I just wish we would love on people more.
Right.
Not. Yeah, that's it right there. I'm sorry, y'all. Not pacify the people's sin, but I think Nekia said it the other day. You get more flies with honey, bees with honey. That's what you said, boo.
Yeah.
Then with vinegar, that's
true.
You can't stuff Jesus down people's throat. You can only live and let his light shine, so that you hope they will want to know the Jesus that you serve and the Jesus that you talk about.
Amen. That's true.
That's what happened to me. The saints, baby, I was everything but a child of God.
So, with that being said, how did you find your way back, and what made you go back to? What gave you a repentant heart and say, you know what, regardless of what people say, I'm going back and I'm going to do what I got to do?
Well, Lord, it's like yesterday. God sent 3 people into my life. It was February 2012. God sent 3 different people who I did not know. Well, that did not know each other. They knew me, but they did not know each other. And they basically gave me the same word. I went home that night, and that was my first night reading Jeremiah. And God basically showed me what my gift was. And from there, it's like I had to learn to, I don't want to say disregard the people. Well, yeah, I had to be delivered from the opinions of people. And no,
Right.
it did not happen overnight. It took a long time, because honestly, since my journey, I can say that it's 2015. Last year, I really, really stayed in, like, just continue to walk, not listening to what anybody said, because even in 2013 I lost a son. I was pregnant again, and I lost my son. My son died. And when I should have lost my mind, that's when I understood and I knew about that unspeakable peace that everybody talks about. Because even in the midst of going through that, God never left me. And it's a lot of different things that happened in my life where I know that it was God. It wasn't man. I went for a year and a half without working, and God sustained me. Anybody that knows me knows I like my different color hair and my nails done. Even though I wasn't working, God still allowed me to be able to do everything that I wanted. Not just giving me my necessities, which are, food on the table, clothes on my back for me and my baby, making sure my bills were paid, making sure gas was in my car. But he even threw in wants. So it was like, no man can do this for me. So no matter how much people talk about me, no matter how many times people bash me, God is still on my side. And it was at a place, and I was at a place where I said, well, God, if you doing this for me and I'm out here acting like a showman monkey fool, if I decide to live for you for real, how much more will you bless me? And not and take away just the blessings, but to have a true relationship with Christ, with God, to be able to hear his voice. It's, man, like beyond the material thing. The peace that comes from having a relationship with God, the comfort, the joy, when you should be wanting to go to the ledge and drive your car off the cliff, to know that God has you. Nothing materialistic can even compare to that. So I would say to anybody who asks me, what is the first step to getting over church hurt? Number one, you need to realize that fellowship among other saints is a must. Because when you by yourself and you lonely, just as God speaks to us, the enemy will pervert our minds and speak to us also. So it's important. The fellowship of the saints is important. Oh, Lord, it's a church show. Hold on, because I was going to say something else. Don't worry about what people have to say. You truly have to pray and ask God to deliver you from the opinions of others. Because until you can get to that place, it will always be like a tug of war within your emotions. And then you have to understand, and I'm probably finna throw some people for a loop. God don't care nothing about your feelings. Your emotions matter not to God. He cares about your obedience. So because you upset and you hurt and your feelings hurt because Sister Susie didn't speak to you when she walked past you when it was time to go hug your neighbor, get over it.
Right.
I mean, that's just God's honest truth. And I'm a very emotional woman. I can't deny that at all. And if Boo was watching, he'd probably be throwing the computer across the room because I am very emotional. I respond in my feelings a lot. But here lately, I've had to depend on God to help me respond logically instead of emotionally. Audriana, don't be telling people my Twitter name, because the same
Who will come for you?
Huh?
I tell you what, anybody who is watching, let me give this quick disclaimer because I didn't do it at the beginning of the show. Anybody that is watching, okay, Nekia, I didn't fill Nekia in. Last week we talked about age ain't nothing but a number. One young lady, I don't know her real name, she just started following me because of the show. And I appreciate everybody who been getting the word out about the show. She started following, she watched the show for the first time, and like I said, the topic was age ain't nothing but a number, and she's 24 years old and her husband is 34. Glory. Now my thing is, if her mama ain't mad with it and she a grown woman, she know what she doing, then hey, Godspeed. I'm trying to get where she had to get me a husband.
She married.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get me a husband. But now I can understand, we tease people, we cut up, we laugh, we joke. Me and Nekia go back and forth all the time. It's all out of fun. I love that girl to death, and she never have to question that. We tease Elliot about being in church. we tease Elliot about getting the email to watch the show, but then we don't be hitting below the belt and hurting people's feelings. This Talk About It Thursday is not a platform to hurt nobody's feelings, put nobody on blast, or bring out somebody's skeletons in the closet. These are people dealing with real stuff. And what Mercedes just did was tell something that she probably been scared to tell other people, but she came on a national platform such as YouTube to tell her story. Now, I say that to say this. If I get on Twitter and I see somebody throwing some shade or saying anything out of the way, if she cuss you out, it serves you well, because you didn't have to hit her below the belt. And that go the same thing for Josh. When he get ready to tell his testimony,
I'm
Josh
not saying
told
what
me.
the Bible say. I will cuss you out.
I will cuss you out, yes. And look at you like you crazy.
He just cuss you out and just just let it be. He's gonna cuss you out and then turn around and tell you, thus saith the Lord. So listen, whatever they say to you, it serves you well, because you don't have to hit below the belt. We all got issues, whether you put it out on Front Street or not. We all dealing with something.
Hello.
So don't get so beside yourself you feel you so saved. Like Nekia said the other day, be careful. Just you get a little revelation, you get a little bit of Jesus, and you feel the need to call somebody to the carpet. You gonna get cute with the right person.
And I'm that person.
Get cute with me. Get cute with me.
I dare you.
In the name of Jesus.
Because listen, Joshua reads you so good. He will make you feel like you want to die. He won't even use no cuss words on you. Like, I was like, listen, you should have just cussed me out and kept it moving.
Like, all I'm saying is, look, don't be coming for nobody. Don't be trying to hurt nobody's feelings. We not over here to do all that. We just trying to reach out to people and help people and entertain people the best way we can. But don't get personal with nobody. They sharing their testimony, and if I see it on my TL, I'm going to check you too. Try Jesus. Don't try me. Okay. You finished with your testimony, boo? Mercedes, you done? You done say all you had to say?
Yeah, I just scratched the surface. I ain't trying to have the saints get want to go out there and do whatever they want to do and then say, well, Mercedes said all that and Jesus kept her. Nope.
Okay. All right, now we got Josh. Oh, Josh. As y'all can see, Josh is a low-key comedian. He is silly.
Oh, no, I don't
But
be
he
playing.
is very smart. He is very smart and well-rounded. I enjoy him on my Facebook and my Twitter. I could be having a bad day, and I get on his Instagram, and my day will turn around. He is just a breath of fresh air. I love him to death. He is something crazy.
And don't follow him, because all he gonna do is get in my inbox and talk about you.
No. Don't follow me if you on save Twitter, because I ain't with you with a click you claim. So,
And don't follow me if you on save Twitter too, because I don't want no more Christian followers.
Y'all they're a real sick, man.
Yeah, they are.
I ain't gonna get started with that.
I don't have.
We gonna be all night.
Blood wasn't on my doorpost that he put on theirs, and I can't be involved in that.
He put on his. You're so stupid. Go ahead, Josh. Share your testimony. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and go ahead on into it.
Huh?
Oh, they don't need to know anything about me. But I don't know. I wanted to organize myself a little bit better, but I have stuff to do, work and stuff, so whatever. I would say, let's see, where do we begin? I started, people in the country have their family church and that kind of thing. When I was little, we didn't go to our family's church. My mother left our family's church when I was really small. We went to this non-denominational church. We went there for a couple of years. Not a couple of years. We went there for most of my childhood until I became a teenager. And when I became a teenager, our family's church, it was an AME church, and they got a new pastor. And he was very charismatic. And so at that time, I guess my mother felt that it was, okay for us to go to our family's church. It was just where I wanted to go anyway. because it was closer to my house. All my cousins were there, that kind of thing. And so we went. When we got there, he was really turning things around. People were just shouting and dancing and falling out and all that kind of stuff. He, God was there and with him and all this kind of stuff. And so, let's fast forward. He was dismantling. I don't know if you all are familiar with the AME Church, but he was dismantling a lot of the things that were associated with the AME Church. They were, operating in all the gifts. If you believe in the gifts, they were operating in all of those. And the church became a tight-knit unit, and I was all involved in it. I became the editor of the church newsletter. I was a musician. I ultimately took over the youth choir. I was an usher. I was doing all kinds of stuff. But as time began to progress and things went along, what it seemed like it had become is that we had become like a gang for the pastor. Like he had kind of he had put us in check such that, and I'm only saying this retrospectively because at the time it seemed like it was the normal thing to do. But if you went against the pastor, you were going down. Or
Wow.
because whatever he said, it was that. He always told them he operated in the prophetic, which is something that is not even a big thing in the AME church. But he told them he operated in the prophetic, and so whatever he said, it stood. And
Wow.
one Sunday I was in church. I told I said before we even came on that my testimony is rated R for receipts because I got them. And so if any of this sounds like it's far-fetched, it's not, because I have a paper trail for all of this stuff. But I was in church one Sunday, and this lady, the pastor, got mad at her. They were going back and forth because we were in a new conference year, and he didn't give her the position that she wanted. So he got up in the pulpit, and he said that in the prophetic, he prophesied that if she didn't get her attitude together, and he was throwing shade or whatever, but he didn't call her name, but we knew who she was talking about. He said, if you don't get yourself together and basically come back into the fold, he said, you are going to die, and that I will not preach your funeral, and that I will allow them to lay you down in the grave, and you go to the grave, and the dogs will eat your flesh like Jesse.
What?
And I was sitting up in the pulpit, and I was
That
like,
man practicing rude.
What? You leave him alone now. I was sitting up there in the musician pulpit, the musician's the pool thing behind the pulpit, and I was like, yeah, you right. But as time went along, it just kind of, things weren't feeling right to me. But again, I went with the flow and that sort of thing. So fast forward, and I became one of the leaders over the youth choir because I was one of the church musicians. And the youth choir had to go sing. The choir had just learned Sold Out by Hezekiah Walker, and the pastor had been invited to go. He was going to preach at this church in a nearby community, and the theme was Sold Out, so he wanted the youth choir to sing. And I emailed him and told him that I was not able to make it to that program because, I was going out of town with some of my friends, so I would be in Atlanta that weekend. He emailed me back and said that, he really wanted the youth choir to be there. He was being persistent. And that was the first time that I had ever said no to him. And I was like, no, I planned this trip with my friends. And that was the end of that. And it seemed that I opened up Pandora's box after that. My dad was a trustee, and he went to a church leadership meeting that week, and he came back. And apparently him and the pastor had gotten to this big argument. He had left the pastor at the church crying. But what happened was he got to the meeting, and we had already discussed how, I felt like he felt some type of way that I didn't come to the program and direct the choir for him. And when they got to the meeting, he found out that he saw on the meeting agenda that they were trying to figure out how to replace a third Sunday musician. I was the third Sunday musician. And he had not said anything to me prior. And so my daddy was asking him, why are you replacing him? Why are you removing him? And that kind of thing. And he didn't have an explanation, but a guy went against the regime. So he decided that it was time for me to go and to remove me. And so I sent the pastor a long, lengthy email after that, I resigned from the position. Well, after
Sit
that,
your own self down.
Yeah, because you're not gonna sit me down. I just go ahead and sit me. And when all of that happened, everything that had happened to other people with them going to the church, being, they go against the pastor, and we like, oh, you in trouble. It happened to me. We had a meeting at the church that following week, and when we got there, I sat down in the church and I tapped one of my aunts on the shoulder to tell her hello. And when I spoke to her, she cut her eyes at me and she turned
Oh.
around. And one of the men he was singing a song at the thing, and he started singing "Heaven Belongs to You," and he had this verse, and he said, "If you treat your pastor right, heaven belongs."
Oh.
And he looked at me, and and I thought I was hallucinating up until that following Sunday we were at church. I go to Sunday school. Sunday school is going in one direction. As soon as I hit the door, because my parents didn't go to church that Sunday, the pastor starts talking about troublemakers in the church and just all kinds of stuff. People who are disobedient and all that kind of carrying on. And it was like direct. I felt like he was just shooting daggers at me. And then my daddy came to church, and he went off from the pulpit on him, and he just goes on and on and on. And it was embarrassing because everybody knew who he was talking about, and
Right.
I've never experienced anything like that. Like, I've never been attacked from a platform like that. And not only was it was my family members that were going on and on like that. And so that put me in a really bad position. Like, people would not speak to me. There were people in the community who just I became like a social pariah because I went against the pastor, and because the pastor, and it was something as simple as just not doing one thing that he said. And
Right.
I ended up going to college, and I kind of separated myself from that group of people. And things began to unfold on their own. One of the ladies that I was in charge of the choir with, she sent me an email one day, and I told her, we should get over this stuff that we were going through with the church, because it was not good. It wasn't good. The lady sent me back an email. I sent it to Nekia today, so when I told the story tonight, that it would be, verified. I got receipts for this.
Receipts, yes.
She sent me an email, and the lady, she told me that she was in love with me. This was my high school Sunday school teacher, and that she missed me. Yeah.
Your face, I'm sorry. Your face killed me. It's not what you said, but it was your face.
But she was my high school Sunday school teacher, and she was married. So that just further removed me from the church scene and that kind of thing. So yeah. And then this past summer, plenty of people have been shunned from the church, but this past summer, the pastor was caught up in a scandal where this man was coming to church to visit him and that kind of thing. And the man that was coming back and forth to visit him, I kept telling the people, because I still visit the church on and off. I kept telling him, I was like, something ain't right with this man here. I called him Peaches. I ain't gonna lie. I called him Peaches because he used to wear really shiny pants. And it turns out that Peaches filed a restraining order against the pastor because he said that him and the pastor were in a homosexual relationship, and that the pastor had forced him to have oral sex. That was this past summer. And so the pastor got arrested or something. It was all in the news. This is rated R for receipts. But a lot of the people in the church, they didn't believe the story because he told them that the man was out to attack his character and that sort of thing. So
when the enemy come in like a flood.
At first I felt like it was God vindicating me, but then nobody really believed the story. Just like they, didn't believe that he attacked me for nothing. They didn't believe the story. So, whatever. Moving on. Whatever.
So as of now, are you like, you said you visit the church from time to time? Did you turn away from church completely?
Well, yeah, I stopped going. I kind of, because I went to undergrad, and so
it's hard to really get into a good church when you're in college.
Well, I didn't really have that problem because I was saved from my head to my toes, and so I was self-righteous like Save Twitter, and So when I went to college, I was looking for a church, but I was just so bothered by the situation that went on
You
till
was
I just felt,
over it.
yeah, I felt like every church had a whole pile of mess going on. And so I eventually realized that I was involved in more churchianity than I was involved in Christianity. And the pain that I felt and the kind of hurt that I felt, it was because the church had turned their backs on me, but God didn't turn his back on me. And I think that
Right.
that's what happens with a lot of people in their church hurt. They're more involved in the church than they are in their relationship, because you can take that anywhere you go. But my relationship fell off when I fell off with the church, because it wasn't really a relationship. I was in a relationship with the church. So
Right.
there's that. I'm going to come up, though.
You want to come up? Elliot is in on the call. Hey, Elliot. Are you in class or something? Because, yeah, you sound like you had a lot going on in your background.
I thought church was gonna be over at 8. We had like a panel discussion about sex and relationships and stuff like that.
See that? The
Um,
Saints love talking about sex.
yeah,
Because the
they
saints
talk.
are horny.
Yeah, nah,
I mean,
nah,
they eat heat.
For real, for
They
real.
eat heat, and I ain't talking about hell.
nah. They it's a like 3 couples answering questions that we have. So I thought it was gonna be over at 8, but I'm here.
And you ain't
Watching
paying a
that.
bit more attention. Yeah, I'm getting ready to tell you.
I heard this thing several times. I don't need to hear this no more.
Well, leave. But we glad you
But
could join us, Elliot. Before we really start discussing and rambling into everything. We just want to know: did you experience church hurt? Do you know somebody that went through some church hurt? You want to share your experience? Is it too much for YouTube? How you can sit there and let me talk like that and you ain't had your ear? Lord, I'm ashamed.
I had one ear in. Listen, don't stop throwing shade all
I'm
the time.
not throwing shade. Go ahead, now. Go ahead.
But nah, I personally have not experienced any church hurt. I do know somebody who has experienced church hurt, and it really did a number on her, to the point where she like just didn't want to do church at all. Not as much as like the activity of church, but just being with the people. Um, that I think that experience, and it's not too much, I guess, in her experience. You know, it's mainly the black church, and I don't want to get into a topic of the black church because that's a whole different storm in itself. But basically, in a nutshell, she was in this church serving, and doing everything that she felt like that she felt what God wanted her to do. Eventually, she got to a point where she didn't feel like going anymore. She felt like that pull to come out, uh, and at the end of it, um, when you know when she was exiting out, the pastor made her and her mother do a exit interview. Now,
Mm.
the when she told me that, I was like, "Nah, that's a mess. Why you got to do an exit interview for just to leave a church?" But she had to do this exit interview, and ever since then, or after that moment, it was just like, yo, I don't want to do this right now. But she's currently in a great church, in a sound doctrine church, and she's doing fine now. But church hurt definitely takes a toll on people, to the point where they don't even want to. Sometimes they abandon the faith, sometimes they abandon the church for more than a year. Thankfully, she was led to go back to church. After a year, but some people do 6 years, 7 years of
Mm-hmm.
no church at all. So church hurt is a big deal, and I think the main thing that church hurt, or the reason why church hurt happens, is spiritually dead people trying to
Yeah.
run something that is supposed to be spirit filled. And not only that, but a lack of teaching of the gospel as well. So
Right. Um, Nekia, you care to say anything about other people you know that have experienced church hurt, or would you just like to give some input, or you feel you just might say something out the way if you get too deep?
No, I don't know. Like, from my own experiences, I don't know. Like Josh said, I had more of a relationship with the church than with Christ. So, I mean, at this current place in my life, I'm still kind of trying to find my way to Christ, so to say.
Right.
So it's just like I'm just yet battling
Right.
a lot of things, because I think sometimes we just feel like if you're so real and you're so omniscient and you're so powerful and you're so loving and you're so caring, why did you allow me to experience this? You know, so I don't know, like for a long time I actually battled even being a Christian.
Yeah.
So, like past couple days I've really been kind of journeying in to, I don't know, I guess I'm just dealing with a lot in my walk. So, I mean, I just feel like sometimes if you don't question your faith, then you're not really in your faith. You don't really have a relationship, so to say.
Right.
Because, I mean, and everybody, a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't question God. I think that's a lie. If you don't ask questions, how do you get answers? So sometimes
Right.
they might not be answers you're seeking, but, I mean, so I'm learning that, you know, people are going to hurt you in life, and, you know, I'm finding God to be a healer and a restorer, but being human, it takes a lot of patience. So, you know, and it's just been a lot of things unraveling with the church I was in. First of all, Joshua knows all about it. I tell him all these things. And, you know, I do believe we are flawed humans and we make our mistakes, but when you intentionally keep committing the same thing over and over that is harmful to the body of Christ, then it becomes like a trust issue for me.
Right.
Because not only are you like damaging your own soul, you're damaging our souls at the expense of your sin, so to say. So it's just like I'm trying to learn how to trust people again, or trust Christians, and maybe even trust myself to be in a relationship with Christ again.
Right.
You know, I've really been battling like I don't know, I guess where to fit in, okay? Because sometimes I'm really hot for Christ and I'm like, yes, Christ, go hard for Jesus, and then sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'm not really feeling you today, so I'm gonna put you over here. And you know, that causes like, what's the word I'm looking for? It causes strife.
Right.
I'm steady warring against my will and his will, if that makes sense.
Right.
And sometimes it's not because of other people. Sometimes it's because of yourself. So, yeah, I'm seeking answers along with you guys. I can't sit here and say I don't have, I can't sit here and say I have the answers, because I don't. You know, I want to say I'm so grounded in Christ, but that would be a lie. You know?
Right.
And I can't say I'm not hurting with the rest of the people, because I am, and I'm just trying to figure it all out as I go, or allow him to reveal to me, or however. Don't hop in don't hop in my mentions with no prophetic word. I'm really
because
not.
they will give you a $2 prophecy on
Yes,
Twitter.
and I'm not here for that, for real.
That fortune cookie faith.
So, don't.
Wow. I honestly, I know what to say. I just don't know how to put it in words. I just tweeted. I said, y'all, I think I'm about to cry. Y'all know I'm a punk.
Ain't no punks in the kingdom.
Well, I will say this. Rest assured, y'all, all church folks are not bad. Well, everybody in the church is not bad. Like
Well,
Josh said,
everybody in the
there's a
church
difference
is not the
between
church, so you know.
yeah. Like you said, there's a difference between Christians and there's a difference between church folks.
Like Josh said all the time, all church folks ain't Christ folks.
Right.
Talking about heaven ain't going there.
Right.
I mean, if we being honest.
So, I will say that everybody's not like that. And one thing, my father started his own ministry 6 months ago. And one thing my father has been drilling into us is love. You got to love people. And we make our jokes about Christian Twitter mainly because it's a lot of people on Twitter. Sometimes the only word they get is off of social media because they don't go to church. They may not be reading a Bible, but they're reading you. So be careful how you come up on somebody, calling yourself, holding them accountable, checking their fruit, and this and that and the other. It ain't your responsibility to keep nobody in check. That's God's. Your responsibility is to love them. People make mistakes, people mess up. But the Bible also says, beware lest ye fall. Don't get so caught up in yourself thinking you got it all together. You just found the Lord 2 months ago. And you done graduated to a level where you feel you can check people and you can hurt people's feelings. You can be nice without pacifying somebody, and you can be firm in God without bashing people. Because I'm going to tell you right now, everybody want to talk about the unwed mother. She's not the first and won't be the last. Everybody talking about the homosexual. They're not the first and they won't be the last. Everybody talking about the adulterer, this and that and the other. They're not the first and they won't be the last.
Yeah,
and just because... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just feel like it's as, like y'all, well, I don't know if many of you know, but, like Mercedes was saying, I grew up in the church. Like, as soon as I came out the womb, I was christened and all that, so, but growing up in the church, I've really gotten to a place where I see that people are so, loud when it comes to grace being extended to them. But they're so quiet when it comes to extending grace to other people. And we're so loud when we're like, love the Lord as you love yourself. But then where's that same love that you're supposed to be extending to other people? Because love will heal, you have to draw people with love. You can't be so harsh and so abrasive. And just like, oh, well, you're going to hell. Okay, I'm going to hell. Okay, what else you got for me? I'd rather be in hell than in heaven with y'all, if that's how you guys are going to be. So I just feel like people that like to bash people need to really practice and grow in their love walk. Because that's like the greatest commandment is to love. And I think people in the church have that so misconstrued. So, I feel like we need to be loud where we're quiet and quiet where we're loud.
And like I said, everything is not your place to call out. It's some stuff you got to let God handle. God got to separate the wheat from the tares, not you. And even it was a point Nekia made about, one thing I want to say to Nekia is a relationship with God is just like a relationship with a regular person. You ain't going to feel it every day. So these people who got y'all thinking, every day is high with God, I'm going to tell you right now, I got up this morning, I said, I don't think I'm gonna read a scripture today. I try to read something, and I try to pray and fast when I can. It's just like a relationship with a regular well, I wouldn't say a regular person because God is not a regular person, but you ain't gonna be feeling it every day. That's what I'm saying. So you don't go around thinking, you just got to be on fire every day. You're just not gonna feel it every day. It's just true. You're human. As long as you're in this flesh, you're gonna feel like that. And another thing I want to say too, we got to stop coming to a place where I say this all the time. Church folks need to quit selling the dream, because I believe that's how a lot of people experience church hurt too. We got these people believing once you get saved, you just living the best of life and you just got it all together. You don't hurt. You don't got no struggle. You don't got no pain. And that is the moment when you fall on your face. Because the devil is not looking for people who are already down. He's looking for the people who are high up in these positions, the one directing the choir, the one on the usher board, the one that is the superintendent, the one that's on the missionary board and the willing workers. He's looking for them type of people so he can bring them down. So, and then at the end of the day, people going to talk and people going to say what they want to say. Like Mercedes. Mercedes was saying a lot of people said something when she was pregnant. And she also said how she liked the color of her hair and stuff. Now, in a traditional church, a lot of people probably wouldn't like the way Mercedes looked. So whether she been pregnant or not, they probably would have found something to judge her about. That's why she said, be delivered from the opinions of people, because they're going to talk regardless. But my heart is like really... Tonight was eye-opening, to say the least, because it is some people that feel just like Nekia. It is some people that went through the stuff Josh went through. I remember growing up in a church where we didn't wear pants. We didn't wear makeup. Our ears weren't pierced. Well, I wear makeup, my ears pierced and all that stuff now. But I grew up in church. I remember a pastor ran a girl off from the church because she had on pants in the church. Like, ran her off. Like, she don't even come. Like, I remember girls having babies out of wedlock. They had to stand up in front of the church and apologize. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel at some point, you need to hold yourself accountable and say, look, I apologize for what I did. I messed up. But then I never did like that growing up in church, because I felt like that was a tool to embarrass somebody. It's a lot of people in the church that's having sex and they ain't pregnant. So what you gonna do with them?
I don't want to cut you off or whatever, but I got a question. Who are they apologizing to?
That was my thing too. Like, who are they? She is not the first and she will not be the last, and she ain't the only one in the church having sex.
Well, I don't feel like they owed anybody any kind of explanation. I just, like, church has become such a political place, and so who are you?
But I remember seeing stuff like that.
God bless.
I never, but I wouldn't argue, because certain things wasn't my place anyway. And being that I was young, they weren't gonna listen to me much anyway. But I'm like I said, they would get up in the church and apologize. Of course, every church, you get pregnant out of wedlock, you get sat down. But the girls would get sat down and not the boys. Like, I saw a lot of stuff, and I feel, you should restore a person and be honest with them and let them know, listen, what you did was wrong. But then there's a difference between being honest and holding them accountable and embarrassing them. It's enough they got to walk around pregnant. Everybody know they're pregnant. Why she got to get in church and apologize? Why she got to do all of this stuff? I'd rather go to the pastor and say, look, I know what I did is a reflection of your ministry, and I apologize for that. And if I got to sit down, I'll sit down. But I'm not getting up here from church doing all this. They didn't get me pregnant. But, dang, it's 8:30. Anybody got any questions right quick before we, any of our viewers got questions, you can use the hashtag Talk About It Thursday. Anything y'all want to say? Elliot, you got something you want to say? You've been quiet.
I'm deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned by the state of, I guess, I won't say churches, because not all churches are the same, and there are some good churches out there, but I'm concerned about some churches that aren't doing it right. And if you are in a church that's not doing it right, the only thing I have to say to you is really seek God and see what He wants you to do, because I promise you, I could have been in that situation too, and He let me out before even anything turned bad. So yeah, just seek God and He'll lead you to the right thing, and He led me to a great church that I'm currently sitting in right now, and it's been great ever since. Like, I can really see the growth in my spirituality, the maturity in my spiritual self, and it's awesome, man. So I pray that you guys seek and find where God wants you to go, but also find a church home that preaches sound doctrine, and that's it.
Josh? Oh, Josh, you watching Grays? Let me leave you alone.
No, the TV is muted. I don't really have any kind of follow up there. I just honestly believe that it's a thing of relationship. Who are you in a relationship with? Because there's no hurt in Christ. I think that we just kind of put our faith in the wrong places. Well, that was what I found to be my problem. I had faith in people. I didn't really have a relationship with Christ. So where's your faith? Because He's not going to fail you, but people will. So there's that.
Right. Nekia, you want to say anything else, or you pretty much done what you had to say?
I mean, no, I'm pretty much done.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me check the hashtag right quick. Nobody left a comment under our video yet. Anybody? Well, one young lady said she went through a situation at the church because her hair is two different colors. A skirt to the ankle means nothing. God looks at the heart. I can agree with that.
A skirt to the ankle means nothing because that skirt can lift up too. So,
you know what? Stupid.
Too much.
Stupid. Well, it's 8:33. I will leave y'all with this scripture. 1 John chapter 2, verse 1. And it reads, My little children, these things I write unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous. God doesn't want us to fall into sin. God doesn't want us to fall into bad situations. But He understands that we are human, and it is inevitable that we mess up and things go wrong. But when you do, be sure to go back to the Father. Don't go back to your pastor. Don't go back to the mother. Don't go back to the church member. Don't go back to anybody. Go to God. And when God clears you and He forgives you and He washes you clean and gives you a clean slate, it's nothing anybody can say or do that can change that. And that's all I have to say. What people say don't matter. They don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. Stop worshiping people. Stop worshiping their opinions. Stop worshiping what their crazy ideologies and their crazy doctrines. It's what God says that counts. And if God says you're forgiven, if God says you're healed, if God says you're renewed and you're set free, then guess what? Who can do something about it? I want to thank everybody for watching. We're not going to go over the little announcements tonight because I'm in another place right now. And Nekia said it last week. She said we was going to walk heavy in this topic tonight. And I'm going to go somewhere and eat and just sit down and think, because this is something, if you're calling yourself a believer and if you're not concerned after this episode, then I really do question you. This is something that I'm really concerned. And it's something we need to stand together and pray about. We can get on Twitter and we can argue and we can fuss and we can fight. But it's people out here who are hurting and they need this gospel. So just look in the description below at everything. Support Elliot. My nonprofit organization, our project is done next week. Josh just logged out. And Nekia is finishing up finals. So y'all that know the words of prayer, who really know how to pray and can really get a prayer through, pray her through these finals so she going on in March, because I'm ready to see her graduate. And God bless y'all. And we out.